Welcome everyone to your little castle show. You know, I love doing what I get to do. You know why, Mark? I love doing what I get to do.
What is it?
I get to meet cool people that literally enlighten me for the way the world works and why we're here. We're all here. Everybody here is here for a reason, I think. You believe everybody's got a reason they live?
Everybody's got a purpose.
They got a purpose. My mom just got an award. She's put on the front page of the Post-Dispatch from Saturday. Check it out. I read the article. Pretty cool. They reached out to me too because they figured out the Cardinal Cowboy is the son of Judy Rethwish, who taught John Goodman drama at Afton High School.
Oh, wow.
Did you know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah. So John Goodman is pretty much famous because of my mom. Maybe. He helped give her, she helped him get the lead in Bye Bye Birdie or what was it? Fiddler on the Roof, something like that. And anyway, he got the lead, and look at him now. So it might have helped him get where he's at. But she said every kid has a talent, has a skill, has an ability, has something that they can hone in on. And she gets to develop that more so than the average teacher, just from the perspective that she's teaching them how to put on a performance, which is really, she said, Carter, I'm doing what you're doing. I help people understand where they fit in this world, and I'm doing what she's doing. So she said, Carter, you're doing what I've been doing all my life. You're just helping people figure out where they fit out in this world and how they can find their talent, what they do, what they're going to be, so that they don't wander all their life and cause problems. People that don't have a mission, they cause problems. Right? They're stuck.
Right.
They get into the wrong things. We don't have to get into all that. But your son literally is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. I know I met him a couple of times, I think at a couple of events, didn't I?
Uh-huh.
And so we're waiting to meet him again soon. It's not too long from now. He went to heaven.
That's right. Immediately.
Straight shot. There was no debate.
Nope.
And the Freedom 13, their lives, your freedom, thefreedom13.org is the organization you started not long after your son went to heaven.
Yeah, that's right. My wife and I, after losing Jared in Afghanistan at the end of the 20-year war, we knew we had to do something beyond just grieving his loss. And I know my son well enough to know he would kick me in the rear end if I didn't do something to honor him and, more importantly, take care of his brothers and sisters in arms. So we basically did a lot of research first and looked at all the different organizations that are out there. And we wanted to not fix a wheel that wasn't broken. If you've got organizations out that are already doing great work, leave it alone, find something else. And when we started doing the research, what seemed to be missing was retreat camps, recreational in nature. And so what we've come up with is a concept of building a recreational retreat camp in every single state. We started here in Missouri. We've purchased our first camp, 171 acres, down in Bourbon, Missouri.
Bourbon.
Yep. And so it's right off the 44 corridor.
Well, they've got the water tower that says Bourbon on it.
That's right. You can't miss it.
Because they got a big tower up there with bourbon in it? No, it's a water tower. Right down Highway 45.
That's right. So it's a quick shot down Highway C, but we've got 2 houses already on the property. We plan to build 11 more houses. So we want to have 13 houses on every single camp. That's just our number. We lost 13 that day, tragically. So here in Missouri camp, it's going to be the house that Jared built, and then every other house will be dedicated to one of the 13 that was killed that day. When we move to another state and do another camp there, we'll always have one house the house that Jared built, because I want everybody to know my son. We'll have a little dedication plaque about him, but then we'll let the local community raise money to create a plaque for the house that Joe built or whoever, that somebody from their local community. But these are going to be recreational in nature. They're built and set up 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom. We plan on doing all 3 of them ADA compliant. So if we get a whole week's worth of guys in wheelchairs, we can accommodate all of them. But there'll be 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, because we want them to bring their families with them, their immediate families, not just go at it alone. But the nice thing about this is that every camp will be filled with nothing but veterans from different eras, different conflicts, different branches. So these guys are going to have to get along, But
we love you, Navy guys. You give us a ride everywhere. What's what the Marines say to the Navy guys? They're all Navy guys, technically, I think.
So beyond like being able to fish and hunt and hit the shooting range and just hike, be out in nature, we wanted to build a place where other organizations could actually come out and introduce the veterans to what it is they specialize in, whether that's service dogs, PTSD, suicide prevention, VA benefits, you name it. We'll have a safe place so they can all come out, and these guys, for whatever they might need help with, they'd have access to that. So we just have to do this 50 times, just 50. That's 650 houses nationwide, over 50,000 acres, and we'd be able to help about 30,000 veterans a year when it's all done.
You see what I'm talking about? When I get to hang out with cool people that are impacting lives in ways that we can only imagine and dream of. How far along are you? How can people help you?
Well, it's obviously, this kind of an endeavor is a massive one. We've estimated somewhere between $3 and $5 million per camp is what it's going to cost to get it built. Obviously, that number can change if somebody donates the land to us. That's an expense we don't have to incur.
Sure, that's a big bill, yeah.
Yeah. So anybody out there that's got a lot of usable land that doesn't use it much anymore, and they want to see it go to the veterans, this would be a great way to do that. But so I'm still waiting on that call for 100 acres in Honolulu, or something. But
cut off a little corner for me and my girlfriend and you and Jackie,
right.
Jacqueline, sorry, and maybe go hang out there. You would deserve it, man. I mean, come on.
I have to have board meetings at that one.
Right.
But no, it's $3 to $5 million is going to be the estimated cost to build. It's probably going to be in the $35,000 to $40,000 a month range to keep it up and running. Between the food, the electric, all the utilities.
Okay.
It's an immense undertaking for sure. It's going to take an effort similar to what Tunnels to Towers is doing. That level, hundreds of millions of dollars being brought in to make everything happen. I'm in it for the long haul. I never imagined having a nonprofit, but here I am. My son was a hero, and he deserves the ultimate respect I can pay in honoring his life and then helping vets in return.
So if you would like to help this endeavor, check out All Kinds of Fun. The most recent event is up on the screen up there. And I called you on Sunday, yesterday, it's Monday now, to say, hey, where are you guys at? I said, before I call, let me check to see the date. I figured they might have a list of locations you're at, and I can pick you off there because I know you're busy during these things. And I looked, I'm like, oh, it's Saturday. So I missed it. I apologize. First one I think I've actually missed. I know there's a couple. I try to do a lot of events. You've seen me at many events.
Yeah. This was our 4th annual pub crawl. Jared was 20 years old when he was killed in August 26 of 21. So he was old enough to die for his country, but not old enough to even buy a beer. How sad is that? So on his 21st birthday, we came up with the idea of having a pub crawl to let the community celebrate his birthday. It was fantastic. Every year we have done this now, and people I don't even know are singing happy birthday to my son, and that just melts my heart. It's a great money. We raise a lot of money during that event, and it gets his name out there more. And we always make T-shirts and hoodies that people buy and change the designs every year. And it's all about branding. So it's getting the brand out, getting people aware of it. And we've seen our merchandise as far as Europe. People have sent photos over there. So. Hey, it never hurts to go global. But
we're a little planet right here. We're all interconnected with this little World Wide Web thing. I wrote my master's thesis back in 1998. I finished that, and I said it was called the Internet.
Yeah.
I went to grad school at Webster after going to SLU for undergrad, and I said, this Internet thing might catch on. Yeah. Lucky guess.
Yeah.
We're all connected now. We need to help everybody around the world, but I think, let me say it like this, not to get too political, but when the United States does well, the whole rest of the world does well.
Absolutely.
That's kind of the way it works. You got to have people that have a system set up where everybody's encouraged to build and help and build and help, and business makes the world go round, and the charities benefit from the businesses, and the people that work for the businesses benefit from the businesses, and the government gets their money from the businesses through their employees or through direct, and it all works to something. Or some people, I think there might be some extra money laying around now. They're saying it has been found that they are saying it has been misappropriated or whatever. But
hopefully that's the case. We can get some of this debt paid down.
We'll see if that proves to be true. I think there's some strong evidence to that is the case. But bottom line is, these are the great organizations I get to work with. You're one of a number of military-based organizations. Little Patriots Embrace, first one comes to mind.
I know them.
Gosh, I go down the list, but I get called all the time to come out to this event, come out to that event. I'll go to every one of them for free. I don't charge anybody to go to those. If you're making money off me, and you're going to charge people for something, then at least let me come to your event for free. A lot of people do that anyway, but throw a couple bucks towards one of my charities if you want to do something like that, and if you're a for-profit business. But we like helping the charities because they literally are the ones that can say, hey, all you rich people, and all you actually people that may not be rich, but you like to just help people.
Yeah.
And all you people out there that have just a few extra bucks, tell people how that can help.
So we've obviously, if you're a wealthy philanthropy type person, I'd definitely be interested in talking. But there's so many people out there that, you know, the economy has been brutal on them. So many of us have been hit so hard by a bad economy over the last several years, and we've tried to make this very simple and affordable for anyone at any level of income, that they can be a part of something bigger, but not without breaking the bank. And so we've come up with a $13 a month campaign, sticking with our magic number of 13. They simply sign up one time. It defaults to recurring, and they can cancel it anytime they want. But you're donating $13 every month, and we need about 3,000 people doing that for every single camp that we open.
So I've got on the screen here, everybody sees the website. We're off camera, but they can hear us. So I'm on this is the front of your, smart. You put the donation page right on the front. Marketing guy. Yep. Some people, they don't even put their phone number at the top of the page. If you need people to call you, not so important in this case, right on the front of the page, you want people to click. Here's the become a monthly donor, the top one. Yep. Is that what people should click on? I'm going to click on it. They'll click on this, and then they'll be able to go and donate from there, right? Yep. And there's a form, I think, right through there, they can sign up. Yep. And when they click on that link and all the other stuff you got, that'll allow them to be part of what you see going on here. And you can scan the QR code here, get involved with events. There's a plot of the land.
Yeah, that's a photo of the property there. You can click the arrow and see additional photos.
And some of the
video I did on the
you
property.
know how to do video and all that stuff too. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. That looks beautiful.
It's 171 acres of paradise out there, I'll tell you. It's got a stock fishing lake. There's the two houses. We zoomed by real quick. That's a shooting range right there. A lot of great hunting. Tons of deer, tons of turkey.
Wow. So when I need a drone guy, I know Carl Lund real well. You guys are buddies, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's my biggest supporter for a long time.
Yeah.
But you got to get all these. I called you the one time. I'm like, I'm doing some drone stuff. It's not for a profit, for a business. But will I get in trouble if I fly too close to whatever I was doing? And you're like, I think your zone, whatever. But you just professionally too.
That's correct.
And so that's Wide Eye. Put that up for everybody. Wide, and then the letter I is what that's not an L, my font there. And then photo.com.
That's correct.
And then also mobiledrinks.com. What's the name of the company? But Mobile Drinks is easy to remember.
Barley and Vine Drink Truck is the name of the company. Mobile Drinks is just a shorter web address to use, but it's essentially a mobile bar. So if you're getting married, outdoor wedding, corporate events, big, huge private parties, you name it. It could be a just because party. We've got a gig booked now for St. Patty's Day coming up, and we do a lot of huge events that cater to thousands of people. I mean, it's a nice big truck, and you can pack a lot of booze in that thing. But we bring the party to people, so.
Yeah, that makes life a lot easier, because that's another thing. How many charity events have I done? And we're all like, hey, we need donations from whatever. Somebody called Lures, and somebody called Gray Eagle, and somebody called everybody. And
we've got the liquor license already in place, and you don't have to mess with it. And then with both of my businesses that I run, we've come up with creative ways to be able to donate right back into our own charity as well. So with the photo business, we have a package called the Freedom 13.
Nice.
And you buy that, you get your photos, you get your drone work. The realtors are our number one clients. Part of that proceeds from that package shoot goes back into the organization, and then same with the truck. For a while there, we were selling Friendship Brewing out in Wentzville made those cans of Jared, and we were selling those, and 100% of the money goes into the organization. So we've got the truck wrap with Gold Star family-owned business, and I usually get a lot of people asking, what's this all about? And I'm happy as hell to talk to anybody about my son and what we're trying to do.
I get it, man. I wear this outfit and this goofy stuff at the Cardinal games because people will talk to me, and I talk to them about it. Well, I overcame a coma. I'm lucky to be here. Yeah. What are you struggling with? I can help you. Just understand you can get there. You can make it. And you're going to run into organizations like Mark Schmitz has put together here that are going to help you no matter where you're at. If you're a veteran, it sounds like veterans are going to get all kinds of help from you. And that's, how many... everybody's important, right? Everybody's important. But the people that have actually put their lives on the line, like literally saying, shoot bullets at me and I'm going to shoot you back to protect this freedom thing that we kind of enjoy here still in America.
Yeah. Well, people talk about suicide a lot, and they always said 22 a day. When Afghanistan happened, the debacle of the end of the war there, that number shot up well over 40 per day. And that's not widely publicized, but the suicide rates skyrocketed. These guys were left wondering, what the hell did we do over there? Why did we do what we did? Because of the way it ended. And I think that's terrible. And these guys need to know that what they did over there matters, and they certainly should be admired for everything they've done for this country over there, and certainly should not feel bad about it whatsoever. So hopefully those numbers will start coming back down again. But I'm certainly no expert in the veteran community, but I'm going to be learning, and I'm happy to learn. I love to learn. And if I've got a veteran that's on my board. He's a retired Army and retired Marine. Name is Greg Doolin. The guy's a machine. He's in his 60s, and you think he's still a drill sergeant. I mean, he works harder than I think sometimes than I do. So, but it's great to have him on my team. Right? Yeah, he's retired, and he's right back to work now, but on a voluntary basis, like we all are, because we don't pull salaries. So, but having him has been a huge blessing, and I hope I can find a lot more guys like him that are willing to step up and help get this thing really going. And I couldn't do it without him.
Well, back into why the whole existence of this show is for those people in our planet who everybody's trying to build their little castle, right? So how many people, my mom helped me understand this. She said, Carter, there's a lot of things going on this little planet, and there's a lot of distractions, but ultimately we all live in our own little bubble, right? And we let in what we want to and what we're comfortable with, and sometimes that's a bad thing because there's a lot going on that people don't realize. We could talk about that for a couple hours if we needed to, a couple weeks, we could talk about that. But we all have our own little castle. That's where the concept for the show came out. Number one, because I didn't want to call it Cardinal Cowboy, because I don't want to be the guy having to do all this all the time for the rest of my life. I wanted somebody else to take this over and inherit what we're working on here, or sell it to another business owner or whatever. Give me a call, somebody, if you like to. But the idea is that we'll be able to help people to bring their little corner of the world and share what they're doing. Mm-hmm. Because we all have some profession, some way to make money, something we're doing to contribute, or else what are you doing, right? And along those lines, I'll mention my mom started an organization now. That's part of the reason they put her on this article. I should put this up if you want me to. But they've raised $2.6 million from scratch. Wow. That's a good chunk of change. It helps all the money goes back to these kids that go to Afton High School, I think. And you got to be at the Afton High School, I believe, to get a grant or a scholarship through this organization. My dad's got scholarships named after him. My parents are great in the education world. If you ever want to be happy, feel like you're impacting the world, everybody, go become a teacher. My whole family's teachers. Bottom line is, can do something to make a little difference on this planet. Figure out how you're going to help. And the money, my dad told me, tell me if you agree with this one. Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Very true. Yeah, I work so many hours a week, honestly, but my greatest joy is all the hours I put in at the Freedom 13, which is a sickening amount of hours, and I don't earn a paycheck. And it definitely doesn't feel like a job. It's the most rewarding thing in the world. I'm lucky to have my other two businesses; those pay my bills. But this is an awesome experience, and it bodes well to what you just said. If you find something in your life that you are good at, and you've got the skill set, and you love what you're doing, it will not feel like a job. And if you don't have that, you might want to do a little digging and see what you're missing.
That's why I quit the corporate job, everybody. I built the email systems for Anheuser-Busch, was making more money than any of my fraternity brothers who used to make fun of me because they said, oh, you're just a communications major. I'm an attorney. I'm a doctor. I'm like, well, your doctors, maybe they got to that level of what I was making, but their time was so well, and insurance and medical malpractice insurance and all the stuff they got to do. It's not a competition for who made the most money. It's a matter of what you're doing that you love, and are you making an impact on this little planet. Yep. And I've figured out that this communication thing is kind of important. People need to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
People need to understand what they're about to get into, if whatever it is, right? If I'm going to buy a house, if I'm going to build a building, if I'm going to get a marriage counselor. My first guest was a marriage counselor. And I said, hey, I'm starting this up. And Dave Rispoli, I called him, he's a pastor and a marriage counselor. And he's like, I'm on. And he helped he got sponsored himself, however that came about, because this thing isn't free. But I will put people on for free out of my sponsorship monies that I have available, because I want to put them on for free because they're awesome. And that will bring more good karma back to me. I don't do it for that reason, but I've learned that. So here's a tip for life, everybody. Go out and help somebody. If you're struggling in life, you're stuck, you're depressed, you're frustrated. Some people consider suicide that have seen me speak, and then they heard me speak, and the kid goes, I was considering suicide until I heard you speak, cowboy. I did this was one at Maryville. And the kid goes, I just had a stroke. It's on my website, you can look it up. And he sent me a message directly. He says, I said, if anybody would like to talk to me after this little chat here, there's 35 students in the room or whatever, speech class, one of my friends was the teacher. And would you come speak? And I said, yeah. I said, he goes, I was considering suicide until I heard your speech. And you were near death in a coma. And after I heard what you overcame and you proved the doctors wrong, 1 out of 100 kids, people, adults, go through what I went through, coma, to the traumatic level that I was at. According to a doctor that was on our show, he's an emergency room trauma surgeon, said there's 1 out of 100 goes through what you went through and has a full recovery. Still something very much wrong with me, obviously. So what's your definition of full recovery?
I've done that for years.
How many of y'all see me running around? I don't care what people think because I've been near death. And I'm going to share with you all about, hey, here's what matters. Unfortunately, I had 2 parents that helped guide me through that because they pulled me out of the psychiatrist's office. That I was talking to a doctor who told my parents, and I was sitting there, I don't remember this, said, look, you're just going to have to lower your expectations. Carter's not going to be able to do what he was previously capable of. So you just need to understand that. And my dad said, look at the camera again, that doctor should be locked up and we will never go back to him again. And so now I get to work with the organizations who have the same mental perspective about, yeah, life's tough. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to say, but I went through a coma, the closest thing there is to death. And that would have led me out. My buddy Jimmy Barnes died in the accident. That he was the driver of our car. Drunk driver hit us. He blew a .21.
Jeez. That's
a little drunk. Jared got to go to heaven early. Jimmy got to go to heaven early. God looked down and said, hey, I don't know if I've ever cried on camera. I'm about to. I'm going to try not to. Take a breath. So they did their work that God needed them here to do.
Yep.
So they got to go to heaven early. We will see them again.
Absolutely.
And so in the meantime, let's get to as many people as we can to help them understand they've got a reason they're here. If you're still here, then you're here for a reason.
Got work to do.
Yep. Right? As long as you are living and breathing. I have somebody very close to me I work with on a regular basis, so I say, I know you went through a lot. I know you've got some tough situations. It's not fair what happened, all the stuff that went wrong, but you're still here. So if you're still here, there's obviously some use God has for you, yep. Or else you wouldn't be here. That's how it works.
That's right.
And so if you're not here, I hate to imagine that that's the way Jared had to go to heaven, but he's in heaven. So we're going to see him again. Yeah. But the impact he has had now, amazing. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? I'll never forget. I was, my buddy Sean Gaffney, probably my best friend. When you get older, do you have best friends? I got we're cool kids. We all got my best friend. My best friend was Robbie when I was a kid. Robbie's in heaven now too, actually. But Robbie did some good stuff. But anyway, lots of my best friends, they're still here, and we're doing great. We got a lot of work to do. But Sean said, Carter, you know what's going on Highway 70 today? Sean is once a Marine, always a Marine.
Of course.
Right? And Semper Fi, and thank you to all those who served in our military. And some of my best friends, Jason Millant, Eddie Hickman, instead of going to the college thing, which I got to do, they went and served our country and were jumping out of airplanes in Okinawa when they were 20, 19, 18 years old.
It takes a special person to do that. It really does.
And so your son followed that same path to be a leader and a hero that he is. To this day, he is. Not that he was, he is. And he's up there, and we get to learn from him every day. But we watched, I'll never forget that parade. They literally they did stop as they brought him through in a Humvee. Wasn't that through his cat? Yeah. Mm-hmm. His body was brought through in a Humvee military. The highway on Highway 70 was shut down.
Well, I want to thank the truckers on the other side because those lanes were still open, obviously. These truckers all coordinated and lined up five across and stopped traffic, and nobody was moving either direction. So it was...
Because even going eastbound, they could have come in because they had to go westbound, but they said, nope, we're shutting this down.
The truckers took it upon themselves, and they were standing up on top of their rigs, and I mean, it was a sight to be seen, and you know, when we were in the procession, it you know, it was overwhelming to see. But I finally got a chance to actually watch the whole thing that somebody had filmed from start to finish, and it was a good 15 to 18 minutes of nothing but motorcycles. I was told that it was one of the biggest turnouts of Patriot riders ever, of over 1,100 bikes, which is, you know, in my opinion, I think every single veteran that has ever dies in the line of duty should get that kind of, you know, a turnout. I mean, they deserve it. My God, you gave up your life for your country. We lost Colin Arsenblas. His, ironically, Jared and him were both classmates at Fort Zumwalt West before Jared transferred to South. And Colin was Marine as well, was killed in a training exercise off the East Coast. And his mom called me and said, what do we do? And I told her, I said, one thing I would insist that you do is let the community come out and show their love and support. And she agreed and let that happen. And I managed to meet up with her at Bowie afterwards. And she gave me a huge hug and said, you're absolutely right. That was huge. And, you know, he didn't get the kind of media attention that the 13 got, of course, but this community did not let us down. I put out an eagle call on the socials, and people showed up, and it was great. And that family deserves the respect that the community gave them. And, you know, she and I stay in contact now, and she's struggling with trying to get answers on what happened with her son. And it was just a training exercise accident, but she can't get straight answers. And many of you know we're in, we're in a very similar boat, but even worse, with 3 formal reports put out by the DOD, and we're getting lied to. So we're being told that things are going to be reopened, and with Pete Hegseth at the helm at DOD now, I've got a very good feeling.
Well, I think they should work as hard as they can to come to the answers of what actually happened, because that's best for everyone.
Yep.
No matter what they are, no matter what happened. And I don't blame anyone in particular, because there's just, this world is so crazy, and there's people that get put in power that they're just things they can't even control. There's other people pulling strings, I think, from other places, and the president's supposed to have complete control. But
well, look, it's not even who's at fault so much as we want to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Right.
Because we have hundreds of thousands of military out there right now in harm's way, and the last thing we want to see is another family go through what we went through for really no reason. So.
Half hour goes fast. Thank you guys, everybody who's helped us put all this together. Thank you, Mark, for taking time to sit here with me. I know you got to run back and take care of some kids and stuff,
yep.
Right back after this. But look them up, the Freedom 13, thefreedom13.org, donate, and look to help other groups and organizations in our country doing great work like he is. We'll be back. Giddy up.